Well, hi there. This is Home Wizards. Welcome to Hour 2. I'm Cindy Dole.
And I'm Eric Stromer.
And we love to help improve your home and improve your life, and that means even...
Eating.
Eat a little bit and reduce the stress, even though company's coming, even though you may not have your turkey ready. Don't worry, right? We don't. But it will be. And so, it's one of those seasons where you want to talk to someone who's going to be like Mom, who's going to say it's going to be okay.
It's a reassuring voice in the storm,
Yeah.
Right?
And so we thought we'd check in with the folks who talk turkey all day long, and I'm sure they get some silly other questions, but they get some really hardcore questions of people in a panic. I bet people crying that their turkey is
sobbing,
still frozen.
It's frozen.
Or it's terrible.
It's terrible. I don't know what happened.
So with us is Nicole Johnson, and she has been with the Butterball Hotline since 2001, and nothing makes her sweat. Right, Nicole?
That's right. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Eric. How are
Hey.
you doing?
So, seriously, what is the most, just heartbreaking, terrible, traumatic question or call that you've gotten?
Well, usually the cutest calls that we get here at the talk line are pertaining to thawing, and we're getting a lot of phone calls, in fact, already today. People don't realize it actually takes a whole 24 hours, a whole day, for every 4 pounds of turkey to thaw in your refrigerator. So, for example, a 10 to 18-pound turkey would take 3 to 4 days to thaw in the fridge. But in addition to that, what people don't know is you have an additional 4 days after it's fully thawed in which to cook it.
So basically, Nicole,
Yeah.
what you're saying is last year, February, I should have had my turkey thawing in the refrigerator.
Well, that might be a little bit too long. But, you have an additional 4 days after it's fully thawed in which to cook it. So we're telling folks, regardless of the size, take it out of the freezer, wrap her intact, put it in the refrigerator, and let it start thawing out.
Uh-huh.
And then what's the best solution for a quick thaw recipe? What do we do there?
Good question.
We
get
hear a lot
of
about
people-
putting it in a cooler, no?
Yeah, that's an option if you don't have space, in your refrigerator or in your sink. A lot of people will call, as Thanksgiving's approaching here, we'll even get phone calls the night before or even Thanksgiving morning. And it's funny because a lot of times the husband will blame it on the wife, or the wife will blame it on the husband.
Uh-oh.
Take
Don't go there.
We heard that a lot.
So there are solutions, like if it's still frozen for Thanksgiving, how do you quickly get that?
Yeah, it's the faster of our two methods. It's the cold water bath method. Again, keeping the wrapper on, placing it in a cold water bath, ideally changing the water every half hour, otherwise the water actually gets too cold, and that takes a half hour per pound. So a 10-pound turkey would take 5 hours using that method.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So then the wrapper on is critical, right? Because you don't want all that turkey juice floating all over the place, do you?
It's the preferred method to leave the wrapper on. Absolutely.
Are more people going with a fresh turkey as opposed to a frozen? Can you tell by the kind of calls?
I would say it's probably 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage of the Butterball fresh and frozen is they're already both pre-basted for you. So additional basting or, constantly opening up that oven to add those juices, it's already done for you. You don't need to even bother doing that.
How do they do it? What's the secret method of pre-basted turkey?
The Butterball folks actually
They can't tell you.
add, it's actually a salt solution, and they add it to the deep
Oh, so it's like a brine.
You're brining. You guys have
Exactly.
secrets. Look at you.
Yeah,
Sneaky.
exactly. And it comes out during the roasting process to make a nice, tender, and juicy turkey every time.
But does basting a turkey really help? After you've already bought, if you bought one that's been pre-basted, but after you open up the oven, I hear that it's just going to, you're going to lose a lot of heat out of the oven.
That's it.
Yeah?
That's just the thing. It's going to increase your cook time, and it's just cumbersome, and you could be spending time, preparing your other dishes or getting
don't do
your
it.
table ready or conversating with your family and friends. So, no, it's just not necessary.
All right. What's your favorite way then for us to roast a turkey? You get thousands of these questions.
Yeah, the Butterball preferred method is simply the open pan method. It's a 325 oven from start to finish. And in other words, what I mean by open pan is you don't need to cover or you don't need to use a lid. After it's been cooking for 2/3 of the way, you may notice at that time that the breast is starting to brown faster than the rest of the turkey. So at that point in time, you can take your piece of Reynolds foil and you can shield or tent the breast area. That actually helps to slow the cooking process down on the breast and allow the rest of the turkey to come up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nikki, now how do we know when this turkey is done?
Best way, easiest way, most accurate way to check for doneness is with your meat thermometer.
Yeah.
It's going to register 170 in the breast, 180 in the thigh. And for folks who decide to stuff their turkey, easiest way to check for doneness, you take your meat thermometer, You insert it right into the center of the stuffing, and when it registers 165, your turkey's done.
And like any meat, especially we hear when you're grilling, it's a good idea to let your meat just kind of sit there and breathe. And you suggest that for turkeys too, right?
You mean prior to carving?
Prior to carving, after it's all
10
cooked.
to 15 minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Our friend Curtis Stone referred to it as letting the meat rest.
Let it take a nap.
I like that. Okay, now what about storing turkey after we've carved it and Grandma and Grandpa are fed and we have the pumpkin pie and all that good stuff? What do we do with it in the refrigerator?
Yeah, we all love turkey leftovers. It's best to go ahead and carve the meat off the bone, slice it off the bone within 2 to 3 hours, and store it in the refrigerator. And you can even spoon a little bit of turkey broth or some gravy in between the meat slices to help keep it more moist.
Yeah.
And we have instructions for microwave or reheating in the oven. Best to go ahead and eat those leftovers within 3 days from the refrigerator.
Do you get a lot of calls of people saying, I'm so over the roasting of a turkey. I want to try something different. Are they asking you about grilling or about, fat frying?
Not only that, they just want to try something new, but a lot of times on Thanksgiving you hear about some crazy weather, across the United States where people are without power. Oh. So in addition to using, the open pan method with the convection oven, microwave, electric countertop roaster, barbecue grill is great for folks who might have lost their power. We get a lot of college students that want the microwave instructions. We get a lot of folks from the South who like the deep fat frying. Mm-hmm. My husband we're from Illinois area, and my husband loves that deep fat fry turkey. It's pretty good.
Now, I was going to say, you're not going to have turkey for your Thanksgiving, right? Aren't you kind of sick of it after talking?
You probably go with hamburger, don't you?
No. All the dietitians and home economists that work the talk line, we all do an 8-hour shift. We are here on Thanksgiving for you guys in California from 4 to 4, answering your questions. We're also available this year live chat at butterball.com, Facebook, and Twitter, of course, in addition to a 1-800-BUTTERBALL. And we all work an 8-hour shift, and then we go home and have, Thanksgiving with our own families, which is nice.
Have you ever had people crying and sort of really freaking out about the turkey thing? Like, seriously?
I don't know about crying, but...
hyperventilating.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, it's one of the biggest meals of the year.
There's pressure,
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for people like newlyweds, and the in-laws are coming over for the first time. It's showtime, right?
Yes, the newlyweds especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about,
so how do you calm somebody down?
Yeah, how do you do it?
Well, we've all been trained here. We all have a nutrition dietetic background or
You're
home
therapists.
degree. So we just talk them through it.
All right.
You're a turkey therapist.
Yeah, you are.
Thank goodness.
You're a turkey whisperer. All right, so the hey, can we hear your best gobble gobble? Come on. You, gobble, no, you don't do that? All right.
That's pretty cute. I've never. No, I like the one you just did though.
Okay. Well, the number is 1-800-BUTTERBALL, and you're on Facebook and Twitter. And come on, you got to do all that too in this age, right? Nicole Johnson, thanks for comforting us that we can make it through the Turkey Day trouble.
I feel better already. Why did I ever get therapy in my life? This is way better.
Well, you have the number. You can call her. I guess you can call her for anything.
Okay, good.
Yeah, go ahead. We're actually here right now answering phone calls.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicole Johnson. It's 1-800-BUTTERBALL. And
thank you.
So whether you have a fresh turkey or frozen, and it's good to know that if it didn't thaw properly, you have 5 hours to go. You still can get that baby
And
cooked.
what's even better is if it all else fails, I call Nikki. 1-800-NIKKI.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 1-800-NIKKI. 1-800-BUTTERBALL, but
That's right.
but it's not nice that they have a very good sense of calm.
It really
about
is.
them.
It makes a difference.
All right. Well, Thanksgiving has so much more stressors. Like, what about the wine? Right?
Whoa.
What about the wine? Are you going to serve the right kind of wine? Are you taking the right kind of wine? And maybe someone say, who cares about what's right? Just do what you like. So we're going to talk with a guy. There's this great store that I love in Glendale called Red Carpet Wine. And he knows all about it, whether it's red or white or champagne or anything in between.
And he knows to not buy a box of wine. Or doesn't he?
I think not. I think he's going to know almond
We're not
and
getting
wine.
boxed
No,
wine.
different. Yeah, something different. Maybe a box of bottles.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, more fun here. Home Wizards, we're going to get you ready, your groove on for Thanksgiving. Kicking and screaming. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. We're back after this. Yeah.